We are approaching Labor Day, right? That's the one coming up. I always get them backwards. Anyways, there's a holiday coming up, and it's kind of our last, the marks the end of summer, right? Well, I have a memory from a much earlier summer and an earlier time in the summer. So one year I worked at volunteered at a nursing home in Omaha, Nebraska. I was up there for a summer program, and on the hallway in the nursing home was this sign of "God Bless America," a chapel service for the 4th of July. It wasn't a Protestant, it was a non-denominational service. It wasn't a Catholic liturgy of any sort. And okay, nothing wrong with that. It was kind of a gaudy and obnoxious bulletin board. Had like cross flag, cross flag, cross flag around the border. It said some other things on there. I don't remember the exact details of what it said, but something about the spirit of it has always stuck with me. It's one of the things that I remembered forever, knowing it would be relevant at some point. Today is the day. This homily is the one that it applies to. So I can never pin down why that bothered me. Like what was it about this presentation of a prayer service for the 4th of July that bothered me? And again, it was, I don't remember the exact wording, but something about it made me think this. And what it was is that the way it seemed to be portrayed, again, I didn't go to the service, but um, the way it was presented, the way they seemed to be setting it up, was not that we are going to bless God for what He has given us. It almost seemed to be that America is a great country, therefore God has blessed us, therefore God is with us. I thought, hold on, now I can kind of put a finger on uh, why that always bothered me. In the book of Deuteronomy today, Moses is speaking to the people and explaining to them that they are considered a wise and intelligent people compared to those around them because they have God so close to them, and that closeness of God to them is in obedience. There's a difference there. It's not that God was, looking around and saying, "Oh, there's a wise and intelligent people over there. Let me go hang out with them because they're wise and intelligent." God didn't choose them because they were already good. God doesn't choose us because we're already good. Rather, we are good insofar as we have the good things that come from God, which St. Paul says in the second reading, points out that all the good things that we have, any blessings, any virtues that we have, do come from the Lord. And that's a very important distinction uh, because it really defines the whole setup. You know, does God bless us because we were great already, or does any greatness we might have depend on Him? Because there can creep into patriotism, and I'm actually kind of glad I'm talking about this not like around the 4th of July, but this idea can creep into patriotism that God blesses America simply because it is America, like as if God said, okay, whatever country falls between this latitude and longitude and these lines is the one that I'm going to bless, as if He wouldn't bless Portugal or Myanmar or any other country in the world. So it's not as if we have a by virtue of being America a particular blessing from God exactly for that sake. No, God loves people all around the world, blesses them all around the world, not just us. But that condition, that blessing, is conditional. The same condition for everybody, that we be obedient to Him and wise and intelligent in His designs, because He is the one from whom all wisdom comes. But how do we? I'm thinking about this obedience. It's kind of a general, kind of maybe even a vague idea. Well, let me give an example of something that happens to me quite often. So I'll be at an event, a social of some sort. It happens more often if there's maybe some alcohol available. Somebody will begin to say something or tell a story, and they'll pause and go, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were here, Father." As if I've never heard about, as if, oh gosh, I'm going to faint away because I heard a bad word. Like, oh, or if I've never heard, an interesting story, it's like, come on. I hear confessions, I do counseling, I've heard some things. I'm not going to say, oh, well, I've heard worse, right? Obviously not. Um, but I'm kind of person like, really? You think I'm going to pass out if you say that? Come on. But the more important thing is that it represents, it kind of illustrates, it kind of shows out a double standard or a hypocrisy that, well, I'm going to behave well while Father is here. And it's said usually halfway joking, but there's a bit of seriousness to it as well. Like, oh, Father, if you weren't here, I would do probably more. And, well, that's not good, right? Any of you parents, if your kids do something when you're not there and you find out about it, they're still in trouble, right? They're not off the hook just because you didn't see them do it. Or, the joking line of, "I'm sorry, officer, I wouldn't have been speeding if I would have seen you there." Like, well, no, that doesn't make sense. You're still gonna get a ticket for that. Or if your doctor says, you need to watch your cholesterol and things, high blood pressure, so no more cheeseburgers or bacon-covered fries. Well, at the restaurant, you look around and go, is my doctor here? He's not here. Okay, cheeseburger. No, you have the salad like you're supposed to, right? We ought to be authentic at all the time. We have to be what we're supposed to be, whether Father's around or not, whether you're at church or not. This is the kind of thing that Jesus is talking about in the gospel today, when he's pointing out the hypocrisy of the scribes and Pharisees, who have all of these external things that they do, but they don't affect the interior. Because Christ really wants the interior of our lives. I mean, of course, we should do the good things on the outside, but to put it a certain way, any atheist can be polite at a party, but it is the mark of a Christian to reject evil things in all aspects of life, whether somebody's watching or not. He gives quite a list: evil thoughts, unchastity, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, licentiousness, envy, blasphemy, folly, and arrogance. He gives a whole list of these things that come from within that defile. And these are what we're talking about, that these things that we need to reject. There's a mosquito here. We need to reject no matter what's going on, no matter where we are, no matter whether we're home alone or in a crowd of 1,000 people. In fact, you'll notice that most of the things on that list are sins that you can do in your mind and in your heart. Even if you're in a crowd of people, licentiousness, anger, envy, greed, all those things can be internal things, right? So it very much is about conforming what is in our hearts to the Lord, not just our exterior actions. People confess like, oh, I struggle with this and this and this, anger or other things like that. Could be any kind of social ills, right? That when they're around their family, they're ill-behaved this way. Around their boss, they say terrible things or that kind of stuff. But then when they're in church, that never happens. And so what that says to me is, well, you can prove that it's possible to be a well-behaved person, to be a virtuous person here. So why do you have a separate church way of being versus a rest of your life way of being? We shouldn't have that, because that shows a double standard, a duplicity, a hypocrisy that, well, I can be well behaved when I'm here, but out there, I just, I do whatever I want out there. I'm a different person out there. Well, don't do that. Don't let yourself be one thing here, another thing out there. If you can be well behaved and virtuous and sober and charitable and authentic at church or around your friends and family or in front of your boss, then be those things in the rest of life as well. Because that's what the Lord wants us to be. He wants us to be authentic, that the things of our heart, the things that come out from inside of us, are what is actually who we are. And that is how we be the great nation. But that also means city, town, community, parish, family, on all of those levels of sort of social organization. If we want to be great, if we want to be wise and intelligent, as Moses said to the Israelites, it takes that closeness to God, which comes from authenticity, which comes from obedience to Him. We conform not just our outward actions, not just the things that people see us do, but our actual interior disposition. We conform that to the Lord through obedience, and then we actually can have him close to us. Then things actually will go well for us. We'll be happy and joyful. This makes me think of something else, though. That's kind of the end of the homily. Something that's been bothering me too. Uh, you know what? No, never mind. Not in this context. See, the things in your heart, you got to be careful with them. I was going to start saying something that I couldn't say it in a way that would be actually helpful for the point that was just made in the homily, and it would distract from it. So, realizing that, I'm going to not do that. So, I'll leave it at that. Subscribe and share these things. That helps me have to do less posting on social media and stuff like that. I want to share these things with people, but I don't want to get involved in all of the fighting for likes and whatever. So if you subscribe and share it with other people, that makes a big difference. So thank you for watching. God bless.